What's up, YouTube? LA Mamba, June 24, 2022. Talk about tire shop tips, tricks, business strategies, and pretty much everything related with tire shop business. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding rental leases, so I want to make a video about that. And this is actually like a perfect day to make this video, because today actually closed or helped with the process. It's not my building, but it's my parents. So we have this shop right here, and we've had it since 1978. And so when my dad came here and leased this property, it was because he left the last property he was at, and that was in the nearby city. And they actually they raised the rent on him a lot. Like, it was like double the price, and this was like in 1977. And so he came here, worked, and had a plan of, you know, sticking with the tire shop business long term, right? And so he worked, and then there was this piece of land next to this place, actually. Not right next door behind this wall, but the next property. And so I'm sorry, he was like, just in case of anything happens, I want to buy this piece of land and build a building, and as a safety net, right? So like, he bought it and then he built a building there, and just in case the landlord kicked him out from this location here, he would just go right next door and set up shop at the tire shop right there. So it never happened, by the way. So he actually made a mechanic shop. He ran a mechanic shop. And then so I got older, I started being there as a kid, grew up there also as a kid, and then I started running the mechanic shop. And then time passes by, and we just figured, oh, you know, the tire shop is more lucrative, you know, make more money over here. So we brought all our stuff over here. We closed the mechanic shop, and then I, as a very young, you know, I don't know, 19 or something, 18, I started marketing online. Oh, property for rent, right? And so like I would get like one here. And by the way, I don't know nothing about real estate. I just like, just do it, man. I messed up in so many ways, and but I learned so much from that. I mean, it was like, I went like freaking 3 years of not knowing what I was doing, but I was just like going. I was learning a little bit as I was going. I didn't learn much every time I did something, but it was steps moving forward. But what the good thing we had was, at the very end, I found two very good tenants. One was for the front, was a body shop, and the back was a mechanic shop. So they've been there for many years. Throughout the year, there was a few good ones here and there. I mean, all right. But yeah, so it was, I mean, they've been leased for many years, and so make a long story short, the mechanic shop pretty much wants to, you know, sell. He was like mentioning to me, I want to sell. And so my buddy's been telling me for years, he does mobile mechanic. Hey, if one of those things ever become available, let me know. So then I told the guy, I was like, hey, well, one of my buddies, you know, he's interested. I'll connect you two. You guys talk about price and all that. So I'll connect those two, and they made a deal. So now my buddy's buying the mechanic shop from the previous mechanic there, and yeah, today was the day that the whole everything arranged. It was like all day type of thing, where on our end, so who owns the building is my mom. So then I helped her out with the leasing agreements, walked her through everything. It would take about, you know, 2 half days to explain to her. She wants to talk about it real slow. So half day the other day, and then we did half day here. And then so then yeah, we locked it up with my buddy. His wife came also, and they're very happy. They're super excited. Made a new business from that location, pretty much as going from mobile mechanic to a location, but it's pretty much like a new business, right? So then yeah, they already set up like a date for like the carne asada, you know, the food, which is gonna be next weekend. So that's gonna be fun. And so I want to talk about the lease agreements, how we did it and how other people's do it. And if you don't know by now, have been seeing my videos, I'm also a real estate investor, so I also do a lot of leases myself. I've done a lot of my own stuff. Again, I've done a lot of my parents' stuff, and I have a lot of buddies that I help out too with it, and I continue to learn also with even the more complicated stuff, like land leases for 50 years. I'm talking about big companies building a building for their business, tailor-made to them, and how those leases are structured. So I also learn about those, but this is a very simple lease, the way we did it, and this is probably the most common way that people do leases. So if you want to be in the tire shop business, this is probably the way it's gonna happen. Here we go. So it's about 2,200 square feet. We're not going based off of square footage. My mom just wanted to keep it real simple and kept it a lower price than what the market is. I kind of based it off of square footage, but you know, as my mom had the building now for like, I don't know, 25 years or something, you know, it's real cheap for her to like just have lower prices. And if you have lower prices when it comes to leases, you're more for sure to getting paid, and getting paid on time, or getting paid period. Or if it's late, you're gonna get paid sooner than later, if that makes sense. So pretty much she made just a one flat rate of a price. I want this much a month, and so we made the lease on that, which is a deposit of the same amount as the monthly rent. So the deposit is the same amount as the monthly rent. So it's a deposit and the first month rent. So I'll say it again, it's a deposit and the first month's rent. And when it comes to property taxes, my mom is gonna pay the property taxes, not the mechanic, my friend. So no property taxes on top of the rent. And when it comes to maintenance, my mom's gonna do the maintenance on the roof, on the structure support beams, and the foundation, and the electricity, like the wiring. I'm sorry, the wiring, the roll-up doors, the plumbing, and that's it. So my friend the mechanic is gonna be in charge of the maintenance, the doors, the windows, the interior walls, the exterior walls, and that's it. So my friend's gonna pay utilities. He's gonna be paying the electricity, which is a meter for that location, for the back location. It has its own meter. He's gonna pay water bill, trash bill. There's no gas bill there at the shop. There's no gas bill. And that's pretty much it. So it's the trash, the water, electricity, and if he's gonna get his own, of course, internet, and he's gonna get his own cable, that's on him. So my mom has fire insurance on the building, so she pays the fire insurance, and the mechanic, my friend mechanic, doesn't pay the fire insurance. So it's really basic. It's as basic as it gets. Small auto shops, usually it's like this, the same structure I told you about. It's just a commercial lease, basic. Pays deposit, first month's rent, pays utilities, doesn't pay property taxes, doesn't pay insurance for the building. Now my mom recommended, I recommended that he gets his casualty insurance for himself, for the business, for his personal property that's in the business, right? And so now that's on him. He doesn't have to get it. We recommend that he does. If something happens, the building is covered, but not his stuff, because that's my mom's insurance. If he has coverage, and let's say a fire goes out, like, you know, one of the cars, I mean, it happened to me one time. We're all in a top of a convertible, not a convertible, it's a hard top 64 Impala, and you know, it's a project car. So then, like, the seats are all like, you know, they're not like perfect. They're like have holes, and they have like the freaking, like, the flammable wool inside, or whatever it is, whatever is inside. I don't know what's it called back then, but we're all wilding, and freaking sparks going down, and then that wool that's inside the seats, it has a very flammable. I mean, that just went on fire, boom, and the car's on fire. We're like, oh shit! I run and grab the freaking hose, and I'm like, you know, putting hose on the car. It turned off real fast, but nothing happened. It was just, but what if, you know, the whole car goes up in flames and then it burns the whole building? That's it. So then, if that happens, if my buddy is in this situation and his car goes up on fire and then it takes down the whole building, then you know, all his stuff is if he doesn't have insurance, it doesn't get covered. But my mom's building is gonna get covered. But if he gets insurance, all his stuff is gonna be covered, and the building's gonna be covered, right? And so, let's just say that happens, if it goes up in flames and you can't use the property for your business, then the whole time the property is not being used for business when it's closed, because like an accident happened like that, then my friend the mechanic will not be paying rent for that period of time. And it has to be something like that, like something like went bad and it went a fire, like something like that. So now let me talk about what other people do when it comes to their leases. Usually bigger properties, but some landlords do this. They do the deposit and they do the first month's rent, and they also made the tenant pay the portion of the property taxes. If there's more smaller shops, let's say it's 6 shops, then the property taxes is divided by 6. If it's 2 shops, then the property tax is divided by half, right? So then Or if it's just the auto shop itself and there's no other shops, then that shop pays for all of the property taxes per year, whatever the rate is on the tax. So if they bought the property a long time ago, then the rate is very cheap. But if it's a new owner and they when they buy a property, that's when you start paying taxes on that value. So you bought a property at $1 million, you're gonna pay the property taxes on the $1 million. So if you bought it at 100,000, then you're gonna be paying taxes on 100,000. Even though you had it for like 20 years, you're still paying taxes on 100,000. So here in Cali is like 1%. So 100,000 will be $1,000 a year. $1 million is 10,000 a year. Plus there's other little fees and stuff like that. There's school tax fees and there's land road fees and oh man, you name it. They have these other little things they attach to taxes when it comes to property. So plus those little things, but on average it's about 1%. It's a little bit more, like 1.2 or something. So now when it comes to insurance, the landlord also can have the tenant pay for part of the insurance or all of the insurance, whatever the agreement is on, and you know, and also maintenance. So let's just say if it's, let's say it's 2 shops, and you know, so one shop has its area and the other shop has the other area, and maintenance could be like no leaving fenders on the driveway, and so it's got to be clean, and so like graffiti, let's say, happens in the shop, they got to take care of it. I mean, you can name it, like sprinklers can break, and they're, you know, they take care of it. So like maintenance also can be put on the lease that the tenant pays the maintenance on the property, cutting the grass. I mean, you name it. There's a bunch of little things that add up. It can be a lot in the month on an ongoing basis. So some you know, landlords can put also pay the, you know, you whatever it costs, you're gonna pay the expenses on the property, on the maintenance and the repairs. So let's say the roll-up door breaks, the tenant pays the roll-up door for the repair. I mean, you name it, window breaks, tenant pays for it. Restroom gets clogged up, tenant pays for it. So it all depends how that lease is written. On my mom's lease, we put, my mom fixed the toilets, maintenance. My mom fixes the roll-up doors. Windows, if the windows is, now my friend the mechanic, is windows break or doors break, he fixes it. So it could, and so let's say, not talking about, let's say like what was the next I was thinking about right now, so there's like these side tubes that, you know, it's a flat roof, so then water, when it rains, it gets, you know, goes down to those tubes into the sewer system. So those tubes are gonna be maintained by my mom, right? Yeah, so you know, as you're going through these leases, you know, you gotta be just aware of who's paying for what. But like I said, the most common is like we did it today, and not so common, like the more expensive way is you're paying for the maintenance, the repairs, you're paying for the property taxes. You know, some people like to call it a triple net lease. So I mean, it can get really complicated on these leases. So I don't really like to call it that, because some people can call it this and some people can call it that. But I just like to like go through it detail by detail. Like, and again, every property is different. Like mechanic shop, roller door, like who fixes that? Like, you know, like that's not really common in a lot of other properties. Some other properties may not have roll-up doors. They might have some other kind of no doors at all, just windows. Like I know tire shops that don't have any roll-up doors. They just have a door. They you know, have a parking lot. They just roll the tires through the side. They you know, they jack up the cars on the side of the building. They take out the tires. They just, you know, go inside the tire shop, change the tires inside, bring it back out. You know, no roll-up doors there. But yeah, I just very happy for today. It was a good day. We made it happen. Everybody helped out my mom, helped out my friend, and helped out the mechanic that I brought in. Like, I don't know, it was at least 10 years ago now. But it was a good day. All right, see you guys next time. LA Mamba, peace out. All right, I'm gonna see if we add a little bit more footage to our video of today. We're outside the tire shop, getting ready to leave. But let's see if they're there cleaning up, and see if we get a little walkthrough. Of the mechanic shop. Gotta roll real slow. Here it is. ¿Qué hubo? ¿Qué hubo? Aquí nomás. Mind if I record a little bit?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it is?
Go ahead, dude.
Thank you, man. Here's the office room. There's the first lift. Lineman ramp. We got upstairs room. There's upstairs storage. There's the stairs to go up. I remember as a kid, I used to be here playing and working. As I got older, I started doing mufflers. There used to be a ramp here. That wasn't there, that was over there. And we had a big 4-post lift. We used to do catalytic converters, mufflers, custom piping, all that good stuff. But yeah, this is a mechanic shop. We did that. Again, I like to just call them commercial leases. I don't like to give them names because it gets kind of complicated when you're doing. And then you look it up online. Everybody has their own little names for the leases and rent part of the building. And I mean, you look up the lease names, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. But there's a bunch. So that's it. And then that's the body shop. That's the paint booth right there. There's a 69 Camaro. Alright guys, hopefully you like this extra little clip. See you next time.